Well, as you can see, we are not wasting any time over here. We're jumping straight into the first DIY, and I really don't even want to call this a DIY for this first one, because really all I did was spray paint over this vase that I thrifted at the Goodwill probably about maybe a year ago. And I want to say it was like $10. And I remember when I seen it there on the shelf, I was so excited. I couldn't believe that it was there, because it reminded me, and it might even be one from, I believe it was maybe last year, Target had it. I can't remember if it was the Threshold or the Studio McGee one. But anyways, I was just so happy. I didn't really care for the color because, as you can see, it's very orangey. So I knew eventually I wanted to paint over it. I just haven't had the time. I first started off by spray painting it with a very light brown color that I had on hand. And then I went in with this stain. Now, would not recommend this brush that I'm using. It's just that I couldn't find like a regular paintbrush. So this was driving me a little crazy because I couldn't really get into those nooks and crannies that I needed to. But I was doing my absolute best. Kind of at this point, I was already thinking I really ruined it. This was my inspiration of the color I was aiming for. It's the very popular McGee & Co. Antonia woven vase. So you can see how pricey it is, even though it's absolutely beautiful. This is how mine turned out, and this is kind of why I included it in this video of a DIY project. I still want to go over it one more time once I find a regular paintbrush, just because I feel like you can see a little bit of that orange color still. Moving on to my second DIY are these bells from Luxpico that I wanted to try to replicate. So I found these bells on Temu. They also do have them on Amazon if you're interested, because I know not everybody likes to shop on Temu. I personally don't mind it. But the bottom, like the stands there, were a little bit kind of dirty. I couldn't get that part off, and just a little bit shiny. So I just went ahead and spray painted them in a matte black spray paint. And then for the bells, I knew I didn't want to use these bells, but just so I can show what they look like just by spray painting them, I went over it with a gold spray paint. But what I had in mind for these are these more vintage looking bells that I got from World Market. But just to show you the difference of how they look with the bells that they come with and then the bells that I ended up using.
Christmas, baby. Whoa, oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, 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 oh, oh. La, da, da, da. Making our Christmas memories. I've been working so much lately.
And now for my last DIY project, I wanted to make these little mini clay pots so that I can put some mini Christmas trees in. And this is where I got my inspiration from. I really wanted them to look more like this picture, but this was actually my first time working with clay. So for me, it was just more of a practice. I feel like, I will eventually try it again and get more of that shape. But starting off with this clay that I got off of Amazon, for some reason, the first one that I was working with, it was really, really dry. And I thought, well, maybe I can add some water to it, but then I didn't want to mess it up. So I just kind of kept rubbing it in my hands, trying to soften it. And once I got to a certain point, I just said, well, this is what I'm working with. I just went ahead and started doing more of a pinch pot, I believe it's called. And you can see kind of where it looks like it's just opening, the clay is opening, kind of like it's gonna crack. So I thought, well, I can't leave it like that because I know that once it dries like this, it's just gonna crack, right? So I was okay at this point though, because I had a couple of clay tools that I knew I might be able to work with it. So in order to get the bottom flat, I just kind of pressed it down here on my table, and now I'm just trying to go ahead and fix those splits that I was mentioning. So if there is anyone watching that you've worked with clay before and this might be kind of driving you crazy of how I'm doing it, I apologize. But like I said, it is my first time, so you guys got to experience how it came out with just being a beginner. And sure, I might be doing some things wrong, but I don't know. So don't take this video as a tutorial or anything. I'm basically just winging it here and seeing how they're coming out and just recording it at the same time.
Making our Christmas memories. Yes, these are the good times with you. Don't even care what we do if I spend it with you. Just you and nobody else. It's so good to see you again, to see you again. Baby, this year it's just gonna be you and me. Hanging by the fire chill. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories. Oh, yeah. I've been longing to hold you close. Forget about everyone else. Isn't this how it's supposed to be? Making our Christmas memories.
I went ahead and let these dry for about 2 days. This is air dry clay. So once they were dry, this is what they were looking like. And then I went ahead and started to paint them. Again, I still could not find a paintbrush around here. So I'm basically just using what I have. It was these little sponges. So I just kind of was trying to dab the paint on here. I did put my initials in the year on the bottom of these just because I thought, for memories, maybe I'll look back and see what year I made these, and if I make them again, which I do plan on making them again, kind of to see how maybe I improve on them. But anyways, I am just painting them with this I mixed 2 different colors. One was white and then the other one was, I believe, linen. So I mixed those 2 together. I was gonna leave it this color, but then I was being a little more daring and thought I wanted to give them more of a kind of vintage pot look. And so I mixed some, what was it? I think it was melted chocolate, black, and territorial beige, I think. I do show it here in the video. You'll see which 3 colors I mixed together, and then I just dabbed those on. So you'll see how that comes out. And then another idea I had was placing some bottle brush trees and Christmas trees in here. The only thing I messed up on is I didn't make them wide enough. So the bottom of those bases, some of them didn't fit. So I just have to remember the next time that I make them, I do need to make them a little bit wider. And now that that paint color has dried, here I am going to apply those 3 colors that I was mentioning, and I'm just going to dab them on with a wet paper towel, and then you'll see me just wipe them off kind of lightly. What I was trying to do was mix those 3 colors onto the pot, but at the same time leaving a little bit larger sections where it looked like it would be more like an aged look, if that makes sense. And here's the final look of all three of them. I think they came out so cute. I am so happy how they came out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video. I really enjoyed making this one. I always have so much fun making DIY projects. So until the next time, I hope you guys have a beautiful and blessed day.